Welcome back to Beyond the Stats. Utah Jazz, Los Angeles Clippers preseason game just got done. Boy, that was rough.
Gosh, damn, can we not play those guys for a while or something?
Yeah, that was. We looked no flow or anything again.
Right.
Again.
Had the same starting lineup. Had a pretty similar first half.
Yeah, so 2 games in a row, kind of trying this guard lineup of Sexton and Tucker, and there is nothing really going, right? Markkanen, Collins, and Kessler are now looking bad, and we know how good they can play. And that makes me start to, automatically assume it's because of our spacing and ball movements coming out of the guards.
It falls on the backcourt. How many times did we try and just dribble through traffic and they reached their hand out and knocked it away? It was
right.
So many times where just we don't have anybody screening or cutting, and when we do, for some reason, Sexton and Taylor Horton-Tucker have an affinity to head down, dribble as different movements are happening out on the court. So, I put the blame once again on the backcourt. And so this is one of those ugly preseason games that you kind of just have to look for the signs and some of the small moments in there, little small bits of success. They played Kessler a little bit less minutes. Agbaji had quite a few less minutes, and he still was, Agbaji and Kelly Olynyk were the two most positive plus minuses on the game.
And so far, and I don't know if it's because Agbaji is because of our guards. We have so many guards right now, but Agbaji is strictly playing backup 3.
His only time has been a backup 3. It's very true.
And the whole point of the way we've constructed our team is supposed to have size, right? And now playing a 6'5" guard as the backup 3, now we're small instead of opposing as either starting at the 2 or backup at the 2.
It's true. He can still hang with his athleticism and his defense, but it does kind of take away some of that length. We heard, and that was in some of the interviews at the end of last season, that we were really looking for shooting and length, right?
Right.
Really wanted to get it, athletic, lengthy in the shooting. So I understand that not every lineup is going to search for that, but it kind of just takes that away a little bit. I tell you, the part of the game that I was happiest about and yelled probably loudest at the TV was, do you remember what it was? Taylor Hendricks playing defense on Jackie Moon. Yeah. I know it's not Jackie Moon, whatever that Moon guy's name is.
Yeah.
Jackie Moon. Anyway, Taylor Hendricks moving his feet on a point guard and contesting the shot. That's one of his strengths. Oh, we got a dog intruder here in the basement. Want to be a part of the show. And so, that's just kind of those little glimpses. Would have liked to see Sensabaugh out there possibly, but that didn't happen. Taylor Horton-Tucker went off in the second half.
Yes.
In his style and in the way that he does.
And by that, it's kind of like we said, though, head down. We're not getting anyone else involved. And that's the point of this, right? These discussions is if you guys pull up the box score of this game, you look at Taylor Horton-Tucker and you think, man, what a great game. And I'm sure we'll hear all about what a great game Taylor Horton-Tucker had.
Ended up 9 of 18 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3, 24 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds.
But if you watch the game, it is, a crazy high usage rate because he is just dribbling, pounding the ball. And not only that, when he passes off to somebody else, it's not passing it off trying to set them up. It's passing it off and then stepping back and just standing there or going to them to just get the ball back. So that 7 assist number is kind of skewed because it's just him pounding his dribble and then getting into trouble. And at that point, into the shot clock, having to pass it off because it's not there and he's not forcing it, which sometimes he just forces it as well.
There were a couple of times in the game where he, put a transition pass up the court early, which was nice, but those are kind of more the anomalies with his style of play. With the way that he plays, and that's where he needs to pound the dribble and really drive into his shot. That's more of an off the bench type of skill set.
Yes.
Right. And there are times that he has some amazing games. End of last year, he had a couple, big number games where he was on fire and it was fun to watch. Sure. And so that fits in an off the bench kind of skill set. Whereas you look at kind of the difference between Chris Dunn had a great game Sunday night is where he was kind of the star of the show. Tonight, Taylor Horton Tucker, they did it in different ways, playing same position. Different ways. Chris Dunn didn't have to take 18 shots, but he got every single player out there on the court involved. Right. Every single play, the ball started moving around. All of a sudden, we had the defense in a blender, and we were hitting shots from the outside. The spacing was great. The defense was great, and we won. Taylor Horton Tucker, however, also had a great game tonight in a little bit different way. Whereas he was looking for his shot quite a bit. You saw a couple of times where Keontae makes flashes in front of him to get out and get some spacing in front at the top of the key, and didn't even look his way because he knew that it was head down dribble.
Exactly.
And it works, and it's nice on the nights that he does it and he makes it, but it does not get everybody around him involved.
And that's the thing, like you said, when it's working, you get these huge number nights, but they're not as common as him playing this exact same way and shooting 4 for 18 and 2 assists, right?
It's not as high a level for the team as when the entire team is involved.
Yeah. And once again, weirdly, because I say that because last year Taylor Horton Tucker was a very strong defender. Weirdly, he just seems out of position defensively, putting himself in bad positions, late rotating, things like that. So, yeah, I'm hoping that we don't see him starting at the start of the season. That's for sure.
I don't think it fits the skill set, but he does have a skill set. I mean, it's and I told you today, I heard on the radio from a certain ESPN personality in an interview talking about how much the Utah Jazz were really aggressively going after Drew Holiday,
which is interesting when you think about what they want right now, what the front office wants.
Right, we want it on the timeline. We want a young guy, right, that fits what we're looking for, culture, all that stuff. And I had assumed that Danny Ainge probably wanted a killer deal, like he always does, because he brutally murders other general managers. But so I assumed maybe we only wanted to give up 1 first or whatever it was because I'd heard we were involved. But
right,
word has come out that the Utah Jazz, their package offer was considered to be a better offer than what the Boston Celtics offered.
And the Boston Celtics offered Robert Williams, who showed last year as a stud backup center, even starting center.
In the race for Defensive Player of the Year,
yes,
for real, if he hadn't been so injured.
Malcolm Brogdon, which...
high-level point guard.
Question marks with injury, but still. And what, 2 first?
2 first-rounders. So it's the Golden State first-round pick for next year. And I think it's the Boston's, it's a few years in the future, 2029, something
2
like that.
2 first-rounders.
2 first-rounders. And so apparently our package offer was considered to be better than that in the eyes of the Portland Trailblazers. So what was put on the table there? The word is that the only reason why it didn't go through is because as a part of that, we wanted Drew Holiday's guarantee that he would extend with us. And that wasn't going to happen.
And he didn't want to.
He wanted a contender, wants somebody to go right now. And if he would have come here, it would have only been till the end of this year and then most likely gone out there. And it wouldn't have been worth it for us. So I agree with that. But the part that's interesting with that is that gives you an idea of the mindset of the front office that we are trying to fix our backcourt, even though he's 31 years old. Am I right with that? 31? In there.
He's in his old. 30s.
Yeah. He doesn't fit the timeline is the whole point. But great player, great leader in the locker room, great person. And so that part would have been great. So it shows the aggressiveness of the front office going after it.
Which makes you wonder, are we going to see a bigger trade this season? If it comes up, right? Are we going to see a Tyler Hero or, obviously Drew Holiday, but a guard big trade this season to try and jumpstart our timeline?
And if that report is correct, which the source of it was very good, that has me excited for it. And we should play Taylor Horton Tucker all the minutes we possibly can and get him as many stats as possible. Did I say that out loud? Holy cow.
That.
What just happened right there?
That. You know who's also, it's 2 games, but also our whole team just looks horrible from the 3-point line. 3-point line.
We are.
We
I've never
can't
seen
shoot.
so many banked 3-pointers and air balls.
And this is guys like Markkanen, Agbaji, that
Kelly Olynyk
Kelly
is
Olynyk
chucking them out there.
that
Yeah.
showed they could be high percentage shooters from beyond the arc, and they're open looks. Our only guy who looks like he knows how to shoot the dang three is John Collins.
John Collins' shot looks pretty consistent, pretty nice. I agree. Yeah, the 3-point, I think, what would we end up? I don't know, it was like 23%.
Yikes.
23% from 3 this game. There were a few backups that came in. Samanic looked like he stayed out a little bit too late on the Hawaii pre-flight party.
Yeah. I
missed a couple of easy layups. It looked explosive as he was going by. You don't want to hang on that too much. I would like to see more of Omer Yurtseven, to be honest.
I would too. I'd like to see more of Taylor Hendricks, especially right now. Hopefully, end of preseason we get it a little bit more, but I'd like to see him more than just these little spot minutes. I'd like to see him a legit rotation piece. Which, to do that though, Agbaji needs to play backup too because it slides everything up and allows Hendricks to be our backup 4. Mm-hmm. Right now, Markkanen's essentially our backup 4.
Yeah, and so it has the ripple effects of the rotation. Very true. This will be interesting to see. Our next game is Saturday against Portland. I huge Scoot Henderson fan.
Man,
can't wait to see.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that guy play. But curious to see how our guys line up against him.
Yeah, and how they're going to play Anthony Simons along Shaden Sharp and that whole group. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how they use Robert Williams, if Malcolm Brogdon's really going to be a part of that rotation.
I don't.
He's supposed to be healthy.
Is he?
So as far as available to play, I don't know if he has kind of longer term issues with the elbow, but I don't know.
Okay. So
those will be interesting to see. We've had some comments coming in on some of our other videos, which we love. If you're subscribed on there, that's something that we will respond to and talk about some of the stuff you're putting on there. I mean, that's great. We love the interaction. Yeah. Even if we disagree on certain things or whatever, that's part of it. That's
the thing. We want to hear from the other Jazz fans that are out there and fan bases, even other teams, but what your guys' thoughts are, as the season progresses and how each, what you're seeing from players and be able to have that conversation back and forth.
That's how it goes. I mean, that's what we do together or with friends at work. That's the joy of it. That's the life's water cooler of discussing sports. So.
Yes. So leave those comments. Let us know what you guys think about our first couple games so far this preseason, what you're seeing that maybe we're not even talking about.
I'm down. That's how it goes.
Excited for Saturday. Hopefully it's much better. This was a rough one. This was a rough one. So
we play the Clippers the second game of the regular season. So I'm pretty sure Will Hardy's keeping all of his plays he's worked on close to the vest.
Hopefully.
So that's what's going on. He's like, okay, guys, they're gone. We can start showing stuff now.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Dude. We will see you guys Saturday.